Hi there, and welcome back to the Industrial Automation Insider podcast. My name is Matt Van Bogart, and today we get the pleasure of speaking with Marcin Kowalski, who is a respected product manager for one of Zebra's machine vision partners in Europe, which is Avicon Vision Systems. So Marcin has been in the machine vision business and world for a long time, and has quite a bit of experience when it comes to machine vision technology across manufacturing, automation, material engineering, etc. I also find it interesting that Avicon has done some very, very interesting applications when it comes to both machine vision, closed circuit TV, etc. So let's dive into this conversation. Marcin, welcome to the Industrial Automation Insider podcast.
What is up, Matt? Thank you for having me on this podcast. I'm very happy to take part in it.
Yeah, fantastic. Right. So we both know that machine vision technology has been around for a long time, and I know that you have roughly 20 years of experience in this industry. Tell me a little bit about where you've seen this technology come from, and what types of innovations have you seen over the 20 years that you've been in this industry?
Yeah, yeah, very good question about timeline of this technology. Throughout this this whole period of my, let's say, machine vision activity, I can say that there were several breakthroughs in technology and a lot of improvements along the way as well. So definitely these one of these breakthroughs was recent hype of machine vision, as other let's say branches, which is AI and machine learning. So this was the big thing, and it is still. So this was the one of big leaps forward. And going back in time, yeah, I can name a few, like like transition from CCD to CMOS,
Mhm.
uh, like developing faster and faster interfaces, which are even more easy to use, uh, compared to this legacy technologies. So yeah, I could tell this two examples just as a primer of all the changes that I witnessed through all these years.
Yeah, yeah, excellent. Yeah, there's probably a lot of people don't recognize and realize that a lot of the advancements that we've had in camera technology have actually come out of the mobile device space. So when it comes to, specific innovations around CMOS sensors and having sensors becoming more sensitive and larger and faster, a lot of that development we can thank our friends in the mobile device world in terms of driving that innovation, driving costs down, and allowing us to leverage a lot of the investments that they've made in technology where we're able to benefit from. So that's good. So, in general terms, I would say, from my experience, because I've been around machine vision for about 20 years as well, is that the perception of machine vision is mostly associated with manufacturing. Um, and particularly around the industrial automation technology. But we see demand for machine vision, computer vision, etc., really starting to gain traction outside of this traditional manufacturing core. I know that Avicon, your organization, has done a number of very interesting applications, ranging from healthcare to defense and sports. Can you share a little bit about kind of what you're seeing in terms of growth of this technology outside of what we typically consider its traditional industrial automation roots?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Non-industrial applications started to grow some time ago already, some significant chunk of time ago, and I can see that I can tell that Avicon just had a great luck of stumbling upon customers that were not from industrial world,
Hmm.
but they had some ideas in mind, but didn't have any vocabulary of vision systems, of camera systems, any notion of this technology. But they clearly knew intuitively what they were about to achieve and what they aimed to achieve.
Hmm.
And it was like always just process of kind of creative collaboration on that, of discussions, because it's always like a bridging the gap between two types of vocabularies, especially for non-industrial guys like sports that, yeah, they know how to make a perfect training for the sportsman, but they have no slightest idea about technology interfaces and so on. So it was always for us like bridging the gap between two languages and
Hmm.
telling something from our vocabulary to learn to teach them, and having the same in return, and teaching new applications as well, and getting some ideas about these goals, and then you create basically basically the room for mutual understanding, and setting the task and redefining and describing them properly so that they are doable, basically, right? So sports registration is straightforward. So as everyone can anticipate, it's mainly all about uh, high speed imaging mostly.
Hmm.
But aside of that, we have a wildlife registration, so all the activities connected with environmental care and wildlife services. So counting wildlife, securing them, and monitoring the species in some areas. So this kind of applications is always with us, has been always with us, and probably will be in future.
Yeah, 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 that's interesting. It sounds like you guys are doing some really interesting innovation in areas outside of what we typically consider the sweet spot for machine vision. So when we were preparing for this podcast and working with you and understanding more about your business, one of the things that was fascinating to me was this application that you had developed around looking at and checking the bottom of feet of poultry. And the reason why you were doing that was because the end customer wanted to ensure a level of humaneness and quality to the poultry that they were receiving from farms. So this is absolutely fascinating to me. I would love to hear just briefly a little story about how this application came about and what you did to solve and provide a solution to your customer.
Absolutely. This application, of course, wouldn't have been possible before machine learning era. Uh, Definitely, we take the full advantage of machine learning here, and application is really all about the well-being of these chickens and poultries, because their well-being also, it's not only good for humanity reasons, but it also directly maps to the quality of food,
Mhm.
to the quality of deliveries, etc. So these are connected things. So even more, we are happy to push this application in every direction, like both technical and just let's say in the moral dimension. So two words about application itself. So definitely there is a strong correlation between the way the poultry is grown and possible diseases or any issues with health. And these issues are mostly visible on the chicken pads, on the because there are certainly some lesions going on as the well-being is deteriorated for these chickens. So this way, the customer of poultry farms can easily measure and monitor the quality indirectly, quality of the vendor indirectly by measuring the product. And this is the 100% inspection, which is a great leap forward compared to previous state of things that was, of course, based on just selective sampling of the animals. So definitely we were able to leverage this application from the basic technical level of the machine learning implementation up to, let's say, business and legal level of getting the certification for our system and being sure that even business-wise, we are on the safe side with pretty new technology that is not granted enough to secure you on the legal side, so that you can undersign on the parameters of these systems and be responsible for results on the system. So we managed to work out all the ins and outs of this application, so that right now, indeed, we are probably the number one in Poland for this application, with more than 15 systems sold.
Excellent. Great. Thank you for that background. Now, I also understand that Avicon has some background in doing applications with certain sporting events. Can you share a little bit of background, Marcin, about where your business is involved in sports?
Yes, absolutely. Sports is one of non-industrial directions that we are fortunate to develop on different levels of business, from simple delivery of components that were just suited to certain conditions or requirements, up to delivering of turnkey systems that could be rebranded by our customers. So definitely among these sport applications, the volleyball takes the first place, as Poland is known for Premier League of volleyball. So best players are present in Poland, and it's regarded as the strongest worldwide. So definitely the vision task there is to make a challenge replay, which clearly visualizes what happened on particular moment of the game, if ball touched the line, if ball touched the finger, and stuff like that. So this kind of systems is specific on its own, because it requires a certain number, rather big number of cameras just placed around the venue, and they have to go synchronized. So that would be the first example. Also, one of the examples is the Speedway, another maybe Europe-specific specific motorsport, and and here the main task was to register the finish line, because
Hmm.
uh, speeds that motorcycles come through this line with are really significant,
Hmm.
like 80 miles per hour, or even more at some point. So there is definitely a need for high quality, high speed system with special optical parameters, because for sure, for those who are professional on optics and know the optics, uh, uh, you will know
Hmm.
that short working distance equals sometimes very shallow depth of focus. So this is kind of challenges that we have to conquer. And yeah, that will be the main two applications that we take care of. And there are definitely mul- multiple sports that just take part in our portfolio just as vendor of parts, like tennis, like squash, like
Okay.
yeah, this would be the main ones: tennis and squash, and probably badminton as well. We
Okay. Yeah, fascinating. So we've talked about today a number of technologies. We talked about cameras. We've talked a little bit about deep learning, computer vision, etc. Are there certain technology capabilities you think are underused within the machine vision world, and are there potential machine vision applications that you believe are emerging that people need to be aware of or people need to be thinking about?
uh, yeah, I can tell that there's still some room for innovativeness in this business, and there are applications that are uncovered both on the on the vendor machine vision vendor side and the customer side. However, for this question, I
Mhm.
my answer would uh, would be formed through the lens of maybe specific region that I cover, which is uh, which is Middle East, Europe. So this
Okay.
region was definitely stepping into this business with certain delay of several years. So definitely the most stress and all the market was put on the applications that were already there on the western side of this market. So definitely we always had to pave the path on our way. Also taking some economic uh, factors into consideration as well. And from my experience, I can tell that generally there's still a room for application development, especially in the field of joining different ideas from machine vision and creating certain synergies.
Mhm.
I can name a few. For instance, thermal imaging plus machine learning is yet uncovered,
Mhm.
and microscopy plus hyperspectral imaging in the inline systems, not only on the desktop lab systems. So I could say high speed plus non-visible range applications, or maybe also
Mhm.
some automated data source systems for research and development, where people do experiments and research mainly manually, and lot of things can be
Hmm.
automated, and they are not aware of the possibilities. So so in our business, of course, uh, when I'm looking for a new application, for a new direction, the first thing to consider is just to search for these synergies of different technologies set aside of each other in single desk or in single setup. So that would be my idea for for further development of these applications.
Yeah, so merging technologies that exist in other areas in a way to make an application better, faster, easier to deploy sounds like is kind of what you're saying. And I see, similar things as well. I believe that we'll continue to see the growth in 3D vision as that technology comes down in price and is easier to deploy and can cover broader fields of view with higher levels of accuracy. I think 3D will continue to grow and expand as a business and as a specific use case across multiple industries. I also continue to see just incredible investment around deep learning and machine learning. I think oftentimes those terms can be used interchangeably, maybe with AI as well. I don't know. I hear those terms, used broadly and probably applied in similar situations. And where I see, deep learning or machine learning coming into play is making the machine vision systems more intelligent. So uh, making the systems so that users don't need to be 20-year veterans like yourself of the machine vision world and in order to use this technology to solve problems around quality or inspection or defect detection, and using some of these innovations around computer vision and deep learning to to help train the system what's good and what's bad and have it figure out from there what to do. So some pretty interesting things happening in this world. I know that there are a number of startup companies looking at this technology and how it can be applied. And yeah, there's certainly no shortage of investment in new technology when it comes to machine vision and computer vision. So I want to also talk a little bit about. I know that your business, and you've talked about it a little bit already. In the examples of sporting, using more of a CCTV technology to look at high speed images of motorsports or looking for balls that hit a line in like a tennis event or something like this. So help me understand, do you see and do you have experience with applications where you're using both computer vision, machine vision, and this type of CCTV in the similar environments to solve problems, or are they different enough where those technologies don't necessarily overlap one
Well,
another?
if you set these terms aside of each other, CCTV, computer vision, machine learning. So to me personally, it's not like I'm giving these terms a book meaning in my business, and keep them away. These definitions, I keep these definitions away from each other and just squaring them and telling her, hey, this is the boundary of CCTV. There is a computer vision, or now we are going to machine vision, no CCTV. So it was not the case for me. So I treated all the solutions pretty the same way, and I was more looking on actual properties of these technologies and traits that they bring to the applications, rather than sticking to to thinking about just departed areas of technology. So with this regard, I would say that is pretty all the same for me. And one of the examples that comes to my mind that nicely describes, my way of thinking is one of applications that we had in some premises, in typical industrial premises. So this was a constant welding process line
Mm-hmm.
that we had just to monitor for welding parameters. So this is just highlight levels and stuff. So there was an additional requirement to put the stream from the typical machine vision system that control the process out to the closed circuit TV for safety monitoring. So what we did was just to simply deliver a plugin, deliver a new filter, new functionality to Zebra Aurora that just takes the picture properly noted and described with all the all the lights and buttons on it, and put it into compressed stream, and put it into normal DVR solutions like CCTV classical security systems are basically. So this is kind of application that blends nicely all the all the technologies together, you know.
Yeah, yeah, good, good. Thank you. So let's change gears here just quickly, and want to get your insights in terms of when you're working with clients on these applications, what are key elements that decision makers and business leaders are looking for when it comes to computer vision, machine vision applications. What are they trying to solve for? Where how do they define the best outcome when it comes to a machine vision solution? What are they looking to solve
Yeah,
for?
I think that one of the most important things is, just like with any other business, is just to carefully listen to the customer and
Mhm.
hold back from premature idea throwing to him, because it can
Mhm.
just change the direction in the bad way. So definitely our decision makers in company try to first carefully uh, listen to the story of the customer who has some quality problem, so some issue to solve, so requirement from his customer to conquer. And first of all, I think that it should be well noted and understood in the terms of definitions of customers. So first thing to do is just to
Mhm.
understand the process, just learn the technology of customer a bit, in order just to gain the level of vocabulary, as I told yesterday, earlier, just to gain the level of vocabulary that
Mhm.
I will be able to connect with my proficient vocabulary of machine vision. So this is, I feel like this is what we took from our experience throughout all these years of Avicon delivering components and systems to our customers, maybe. uh, yeah, that's my point. That's my point.
Okay, good. Yeah, yeah, good. Good. So a couple more questions here before we wrap up. From your perspective, what are some of the biggest misconceptions around machine vision that you either read about or hear about from customers? Are there one or two things that stand out to you where a customer may have one perception of machine vision, and you may have something completely different. Are there any examples that you can share?
Absolutely. With this question, I think you are hitting the funny side of our today meeting, because I have a certain stories in mind that perfectly describe, this discrepancy between customers' mindset and our possibilities. Let's say technical possibilities, that we know we can do something or we cannot do something. So I could say first example is like the text or like the claim that I hear from my customer, like, my iPhone has zillion of megapixels. Why can't I just use my phone instead of this 3,000 bucks camera? Tell me that, okay? Then
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yep.
trying to square the differences, and it takes like 1 hour or so. So I literally I had such case where I just spent 1.5 hour of explaining to customer why he wasn't able to achieve his goals with 20 bucks pocket microscope, and and my lenses costed like 2,000 bucks, and at the end of the day I just said enough, okay, and I just hung up my phone, and then next day I had an order on my desk, just simple as that. So very important question, very important thing to such cases uh, is just to know when you have to say no, I would say, to customer,
Mm-hmm.
because it's sometimes a psychological side of you know interpersonal interpersonal connection in talk that takes precedence on the way how you talk about the business. So in this case, I don't want to go any further in this maze, and I try just to cut out the talk and let our let us both have some time to think things over, okay, because sometimes just customer needs some crash against the wall, and just has to reorganize his priorities himself. So
Mm-hmm.
such funny stories take place. Like maybe another one. I can train my iPad and Amazon Cloud for machine learning. Why your solution is so much in cost? Okay, so there is also no point in too much going too much into technical side, because I have to explain why the solution, the industrial solution, could work better for him, and it could be, for instance, independent on any type of remote connections, or have results instantly. But if you come across certain attitude to your system from un, untrained properly customer, then there's pretty nothing to do here, and we have to let ourselves just rest for a little bit in our business.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, for sure. I've had and have listened to similar questions about iPhones and such. So you
Yeah,
bring up an important point, and I think it is worth mentioning, that the machine vision market exists for a reason. It fills a need across across a number of verticals and a number of customers and countless applications where the technology in this space, the software, the camera systems, the lighting, the lenses, the expertise of people like you, Marcin, in the industry brings together all those components in a way to provide unique and elegant solutions to customer problems. And if it was that easy, perhaps this industry wouldn't exist. But from what I see, it continues to grow double digits every year with no end in sight, especially with a lot of the innovation
Yeah, that's right.
that's
You're
happening.
absolutely right. So I could say that there is a certain reason we are still staying for some applications with VGA, so the resolution. So there is a reason behind it, and
Hmm.
sometimes customer cannot grasp it, and that's the point.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, excellent, excellent. Well, it's been a pleasure speaking with you, Marcin, today, and we appreciate the partnership that Avicon has had, and using our technology, using Zebra Aurora Vision Studio for the last 15 years. The fact that you continue to add products and capabilities to your portfolio from the Zebra product line, we certainly appreciate all the work that you're doing to support our business as well. I want to let people know that are either watching this or listening to this that Avicon has a tremendous library of application case studies on their website, and we will link to it in the description to this show. And I would encourage people to go take a look at all of those case studies because there is some fantastic innovation that's happening there. So, Marcin, we really appreciate the support and thank you for being with us
Pleasure on
today.
my side, Matt.
Excellent, fantastic. So thanks again for taking time with me today, and thank you to our listeners for tuning in. If you missed past episodes of the Industrial Automation Insider, you can catch up now at Your Edge blog and podcast platform on zebra.com. I'm Matt Van Bogart, signing off for now. Thank you.
Okay, great.